Are you ready to launch your business, but now you're stuck on how to start an LLC in California? I'm Greg with StartingYourBusiness.com, and in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 ways that you can choose to start an LLC in California. In addition, I'll talk about some important things that you need to do after registering the LLC. Regardless of which of the 3 options that you choose, there are 2 things that you need to have figured out first. To start with is the LLC's name. The state of California requires every LLC to have a name that is different from the other LLCs registered in the state. Before trying to register, I recommend doing a name search with the California Secretary of State to make sure that the name that you want is available. Next, you should think about who you will appoint as the registered agent. A registered agent is a person or a service that serves as a central point of contact for the entity and will be the one that receives the legal notice, say if the entity is sued. California requires LLCs and corporations to appoint a registered agent before submitting the entity formation paperwork. The main requirements to be a registered agent include them being at a specific address during normal business hours. A lot of times, the owner is going to be the registered agent, but some people will hire a registered agent service so they don't have to worry about being available, or they don't want their name and home address listed as the registered agent. Now that we have those 2 out of the way, let's get into the 3 ways to start an LLC in California. The first option is hiring an attorney, and this is the most expensive of the 3 options, but it's going to provide the best protection. And I know that it's expensive to start a business, and you may say that this cost is just not in the budget. But if you're going to have investors, or you have a business that is complex or potentially has a risky product or service, don't form the LLC yourself. The process of setting up an LLC is pretty straightforward, but there are several things that an attorney is going to do to make sure the LLC's owners are protected. An attorney will set you back somewhere, say, I don't know, between $500 and $5,000, depending on the complexity of your business, plus the state fees to register the LLC, which in California is normally $70, but until June 30th, 2023, the state filing is actually free. In the grand scheme of things, the cost for an attorney isn't a lot of money, but I can guarantee that if you do this yourself and you make a mistake, it's going to cost a lot more than hiring the attorney. Option number 2 is directly creating an LLC through the California Secretary of State. There is a form to fill out called the Articles of Organization that is relatively straightforward to fill out. There may be some terminology that may not make sense if this is the first time that you are forming an LLC, but if you get stuck, I have a step-by-step guide that should help you out. With this option, all that you're going to pay is the state fee, and it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks for the state to process the Articles of Organization. The last option is using an entity formation service. The formation services are a nice middle option between an attorney and doing it yourself, as they provide guidance and can answer questions along the way. There are a couple of formation services that I like, and they're actually free to use. Both InkFile and ZenBusiness have a basic package where they only charge the state fee, plus they come with a free registered agent in the first year. They offer a free plan because they have several upsells to offer you that I also show you how to do for free, but these services can take a few things off your plate, and some people will find that handy. The prices on the upsells are much better on InkFile than they are on ZenBusiness, but I think ZenBusiness offers beginners a little more guidance through the LLC registration process. So once the limited liability company has been formed, there are a few additional steps that you may need to take care of. The first one is very important, and within 90 days of filing the Articles of Organization, the initial statement of information, which is Form LLC-12, must be submitted to the California Secretary of State. Next, you will need to create an LLC operating agreement, as California is only one of 6 states that requires an operating agreement. The operating agreement is a document that governs the framework of an LLC and covers items like ownership rights, responsibilities, how profits and losses are distributed, and more. I have a free template available, and you'll find countless others online too. But if you plan to have investors, I really recommend having an attorney, as they will make sure all of your bases are covered. Another item your LLC may need is to obtain an employer identification number, which is a unique 9-digit tax identification number assigned to a business by the Internal Revenue Service. If the LLC will hire employees or is owned by more than one member, then an EIN is required. If an employer identification number isn't required, the LLC will use the owner's social security number, or it can choose to register for an EIN. In either case, the EIN is free to register for by filing through the IRS website. After getting the EIN, it's time to open a bank account under the LLC. Opening a bank account is important for your LLC, not only for tracking income and expenses, but liability protection as the account separates the business's funds from the member's personal funds. Another important step after registering your LLC is to get licenses and permits. The LLC is different from business licensing, and the licenses you need will vary depending on what your business does and where it's located. A couple of common registrations include a local business license and seller's permit. There isn't a state business license, but many cities in California require businesses to obtain licensing before they can start, and this sometimes includes home-based businesses as well. In California, when a business sells a taxable product or service, sales tax has to be collected. A seller's permit is needed by most businesses, and this permit lets you legally sell those items and collect the sales tax. And these items are just a brief overview of the most common things to do after setting up your LLC, and there may be more needed for your particular business. To learn more, I have more resources at startingyourbusiness.com. And that wraps up this video on the ways to start an LLC in California. Hopefully this video was helpful, but if not, please let me know if you have any questions. Also, if you have a second, please hit the like and subscribe, as it lets me know if these videos are helping people start their businesses.